Russ, the last game in the EFL Trophy, obviously you've already booked your spot in the next round, but I suppose it's about carrying momentum and try and finish top of the group.
Yeah, I think so. That's it's 4 unbeaten now. It's 4 clean sheets in 7. We've become, I think, really difficult to play against at the very least. So yeah, and the boys have earned the right to go out and enjoy this one. And we're going to have to make quite a few changes. We've got a lot of people who are 7 games in 3 weeks has caught up with them, and 120 minutes just to finish that off has been made it even tougher. So I want to keep momentum going, but there's also going to be a lot of changes. There's going to be a lot of people with opportunities to play. Some young players come in from the academy who will be on the bench or starting, so that will be exciting for them. But whatever team we play, whatever team we put out, I'm expecting a performance and expecting to go and try and win the game. It's as simple as that. So, but we have to do a lot of management at the minute in terms of bodies, managing minutes, because we've got another really big game Saturday to get through. And then for the first time in 3 or 4 weeks, we have a week in between the games. So we need to get through that. It's caught up on most teams, I think, if you have a look at it throughout the leagues. And, you know, I'm really pleased to, as I said on Sunday, half of our league went out of the cup. We got through it. And with regardless of what anyone thinks, a really good performance, in my opinion, a dominant one. And if you look at the game last night, even Northampton and Oxford, it was a proper cup tie where it's end to end and all that. Ours didn't turn into that at any point. So, yeah, really pleased with how we are going with the momentum, as you said, and we want to keep that going, albeit making a few changes for tomorrow.
I was going to mention actually the Northampton game last night. Given that Northampton went out to lower league opposition, it just shows how big a banana skin playing lower league teams is. And then it's not always just a given, is it?
No, it's tough. And, you know, I spoke to Ben, their manager, after the game. He was brilliant. And he said they wanted to have a go and wanted to come and press us and try and turn it into that kind of game. And after 15 minutes, they realised they weren't going to be able to do that. So they had to change tack. And then they sat off and were really disciplined and stuck to it. It made it really difficult. But we got into the final third, into the box, so many occasions. We have to do more with that. There's no doubt about it. That's something that's been evident the last couple of games, because we get there and you know, people always question the people in my life who I like to challenge me, and I speak to a lot about the game and challenge me about certain things in terms of, you know, the possession we have and but that, you know, they watch the game and it's not slow, it's not patient, it's really aggressive, it's really dominant, it's really controlled. As I said, we get there repeatedly. We don't let the other team off the hook. It's another game where we have one shot on target against us. So teams know it's going to be difficult. We just have to make that dominance really, really count and put the ball in the back of the net. If we do, you know, that's another big challenge for teams if we score first to see what they do. So we have to make sure we do that more often. And it's something we work on, but we haven't had very much time to really work on that recently with the amount of games. So we started the season in a certain way, trying to be really expansive and flowing and committing more bodies in the attack. We weren't quite ready to do that. We conceded too many sloppy goals, so we had to change things a little bit. But with the change and adapting, we haven't changed the fundamentals of our play, which is controlling the game, which usually you have to do. You know, you have to try and give up the ball, or, you know, maybe bank up and not press so much. We haven't changed any of those fundamentals of our performance, but we made ourselves a lot more solid. So the balance has gone the other way now. We're starting to really look solid, keep clean sheets, not concede many shots on target against us. So now we have to tip the balance the other way without losing that solidity and strength we've had in defence recently.
So how do you go about doing that? Is it just a case of telling all the strikers to stand on the edge of the box and you just pepper shots on Andrew Fisher and Lee Nichols' goals? I
think we need to take more risk in the final third. I think the guys play with that much courage and composure everywhere else on the pitch that we need to try and be the same, but with that really aggressive, ruthless mentality in the final third. So it needs work. You know, everything we've done is a product of a lot of work on the training pitch, in the lecture theatre, on the videos, individual sessions. So we need more time to work. I said to you, you know, it's a work in progress but we're at a point now where I said to the guys after the Northampton game, after this one, we're at a point now where a game never looks like it's gone away from us at any point, whereas there were times last season it was. I feel like we've got to a point now that lies some real strength and conviction in what they're doing, that teams know it's going to be really difficult. But at the minute, we just still give teams too much to hang on to, if you like. So they always feel they might get one chance in a game. That's what Northampton spoke about, and then they hit the bar late on and stuff like that. So yeah, we need time. We need time on a training pitch. We need time to work, and we also need time to consistently get our best players on the pitch together. Just hasn't happened very much for one reason or the other. And I think it's probably similar for a few clubs that are affected with COVID and the transfer window and finance. So we just haven't been able to have them on the pitch enough from the very start. But we're slowly getting there. That's why we have to manage people through these games now.
Regan Paul mentioned it on Sunday that international duty's almost come at a bad time for him because he's just started to hit a decent patch of form. And Daniel Harvey as well on the opposite flank. That's two key players out for you. How frustrating is it that these guys are having so many internationals at the moment? Yeah,
it is really frustrating. I mean, most of the international players come from the two leagues above, so it doesn't affect them if they have the international break. We don't. So when you've got two really good players that are fortunate enough to be good enough to and work hard enough to be picked for their international team, which is great for them, but it doesn't help us. It doesn't help us one bit. So you're going away from home, two men down who would start the game. So what I would say is, Matty Sorano has been fantastic when he's played, and he's been unlucky to be out of the team the last couple. So he'll be ready. I'm sure he'll be desperate for his chance. And then the other one is up for grabs for someone in the team. So they have to make sure they stake a claim and try and take that place. But I think it's frustrating for us and for them because they go away, the routine's completely different. They're maybe being asked to do different roles. Regan plays a completely different position for his national team. So it's different. So yeah, it's tough. And to be honest, it takes a bit of time when they come back as well to settle back in, get used to the routine again. They've travelled, they're tired from that, a different training regime. In national duty, you spend a lot of time in your room, especially at the moment. They can't do anything else. Just not quite. It's not a normal routine at all. So it does have its effects, and we have to pay for that, unfortunately. But at the same time, we want good players here, and players who are getting international recognition is fantastic for them.
120 minutes on Sunday can't have been the ideal preparation for
No, not after 7
weeks. And then after so many games as well, yeah. So you say you're going to look at the academy, bringing some young kids through tomorrow night. How important is this competition for academy kids to come through and stake a claim?
Yeah, I think it's massive. The fact we're playing against an under-23s team tells you there's been a real direction the competition's gone in is to help produce and promote players through it that might not get chances in the league so much. But at the same time, it's a really important competition for teams at this level and the one below. There's no doubt about it. It's a chance to win silver. It's a chance to play at Wembley. It's a chance for players to show how good they can be and test themselves. And the first two games have allowed us to be able to feel comfortable enough to do that, to be able to play it. And obviously injuries permitting as well, so we had to do it, necessity. But at the same time, if I didn't feel comfortable playing these guys, I wouldn't. We just keep rolling the other ones out. So it's a really good competition for that. And we have to make sure we use players who we feel are ready, and it gives them a chance, a platform to play. And some people, they really take a chance, and it might propel them even quicker into first team more regularly. So I'm sure they'll be excited about it. I'm excited about watching some of them. And they'll be surrounded by guys who have played hundreds of games and really experienced and can help them through it. And so, as I said, whatever team plays tomorrow, they need to go out there and with the mentality that we're in this competition to try and go and win it. It's as simple as that. That's what it's there for. It's a massive carrot at the end of it. And the players will be reminded of that.
And I suppose they can look at people like David Kasumu and Matthew Soranoda as well, and Sam Nombe as well, who have made their name in this competition and then used it as a springboard to become more regular in your first team.
Yeah, they had to wait for opportunities, and their opportunity, I think most of them fell in this competition. And as I just said, they took it with both hands, all of them. So they really propelled them into first team action regularly. And now they're really, David and Matty are really important members of our squad. Really important. So the other guys only need to look at that to see how important it can be for their own careers, not just in terms of performance, but the future of their careers. They play well now, as you said. They get looked at a bit differently by their peers, by the players in the first team, by the fans. So it's a real opportunity for some of them, and hopefully they'll take it.
How are your isolated trio getting on?
Yeah, all right, all right. We've been talking to them on Zoom and plenty of communication. It's not the same without them for sure. As I said on Sunday, we are missing them because it's the culture we've created here. It's about everyone, especially with the staff, all chipping in and adding as much value as possible. And they add a hell of a lot of value. So they are being missed, of course, but they're in constant contact, and we look forward to having them back at some point soon.
It does make you go stir crazy. I'm on day 5, I think. And Barnet in the second round of the FA Cup. What are your thoughts on the draw?
Yeah, I think it's a good draw. When you look at the clubs that are named just before that, Carlisle and stuff like that, was, I think it can be seen as an exceptional draw. But it's going to be a tough game. Good club, really good setup now with their new facilities, new stadium. Well, newish, fairly local. I would all liked a home draw, but I think it's a good draw. It's going to be a tough game against another lower league opposition. They're going to be desperate to make sure, they're the story of the FA Cup and get into the third round. So we have to make sure we're prepared for that. But it's a big chance for us to go there and put in a performance and win and put in the hat for when the big boys come in.